give you something you always wanted to know, and that is when I was on the screen. 2015, nigga, my future self kidnapped me and have been living in my place. As I was in a cabin, I always thought of escape, but he would appear with those red eyes, and that's why today is the day I will explain it all. So this is it. My future self's time machine. No, I don't see anything that's much different in here. I mean, it looks like a regular or kiddie place. I mean, fuck. I don't see, is there something futuristic in here that maybe I can't see? I don't know. I need to take a sit. I've been tired all day, working out. I gotta make that explaining video. You know what's funny is that what would happen if you were to time travel back to the spot, but this building wasn't here? Would it actually still be in this building? Like, would it still land in this spot? Hold on, let me see. Nope, I don't see anything about. Maybe he blocked that out too. Likes to block a lot of things. So, what the hell was that? Mark Ruffalo? What the hell are you doing here? Yeah, what are you doing here? I didn't know you live here. Oh, you just visiting this place or what? Answer the question. Oh, so you just gonna know me? What is it you got to say?
It's time!
Oh. Well, you all right. So, okay. Let me go explain. I gotta go explain that original timeline video anyway. But, I look forward to, Thor Ragnarok. I mean, I'm not gonna go see it in theaters. I'm gonna wait till Netflix or Hulu, so. Get back to Hollywood, you know. They could, fire your ass. I mean, you don't live here, do you? Okay? Yeah. That's why don't even try to talk because I know you. Maybe. But, let me get that out of here. Bye, okay? Time to go explain the video book. And look. Stop that camera. Let's get it. I'm so happy. Alright. As my future self would say, sup guys, Giovanni here. And today I'm gonna talk about is the original timeline. Now, ever since my future self was taking over my life, the day after, or just a few hours after I graduated, I was kidnapped by my future self. And he would tell all the people about he's from the future. And, well, you know, June 28th, 2017, he returned from the future. And everybody, before he left, everybody wanted to know more about the original timeline. Because he would tell y'all people about your futures. So, and also, you know, he made a video, 40 views and I'll explain the original timeline. I think he always wanted to talk about the original timeline. However, he wanted y'all to ask for it, but he's gone. So that's why I'm here to do it. Luckily, remember when my future self and I did the finger thing? Yeah. So I have his memories to tell the story. Now remember, I won't be able to tell it all because he used blockage. Blockage is when you give your memories to someone, you can block it from giving it to that person. So I won't be able to, give 100% of everything. So let's start from the beginning. I actually wrote down the timeline, but I'm not gonna show it to you to the end of the video, okay? So be patient. Alright. So it says right here, 1928, December 22nd, 1928, is when my future self was born. And as you know, he created himself out of the air. He made himself. So he made his father's Andrew, but how can it be Andrew if you made yourself? Same for your mother. Remember he has a question mark? But you just say you created yourself. But anyway, in 1960, he met his future wife. But before I continue, as you know, between 1928 and 1960, he had his regular life. He went to school, high school. He skipped college. I don't know what kind of job he actually had, but either I can't find it or he blocked that out too. But sometime in 1960, he got together with his future wife. Also, if I say MFS, that means my future self. If I say MFSW, that means my future wife. My future self's wife. But anyway, in 1960, they got together. Before they got together, they went on a couple of dates, and then they officially, got together in 1960. It says here, as I put down here, 1970, David, let's use his full name, Davietto Shelton Benjamin, who is my bitch. Yes, that's his full name. And then you got Zach. Or was that Ack? It's with the X. Now, the doctor, I think my future wife named him Zach, but the doctor effed it up and put an X. I said, what are you doing? We said Zach. And then we just like, we'll change it later. And we end up not changing it. Well, they end up not changing it. And let me say, in the first couple of years of when David was born, his brain was fucked up. He was speaking, he was talking like that. And so we had to give a little more attention to him. And Zach's like, I get it, but every once in a while, can you give me some attention? Now, my future self and the wife would not really do that. And that's why Zach, Ack, wasn't really giving, that's why even they didn't talk to the parents that much when he got older. It's because you're giving David all this attention. Can I get some attention? It's like, your brother's mind is fucked up. Okay? Chill. But, let's continue on, shall we? 1980. Don't really know what year. The day and month. But 1980. Jason was born. You know Jason. Yeah, come on, you know Jason. Well, David, let's talk about how Jason was born. David met this 10-year-old woman named Maya at school. So they, went under the bleachers, had sex. I said, David, you're 10 years, my future self said, David, you're 10 years old. Why are you having sex at a young age? You should wait until you're like 18. And David said, I don't give a... And that was his first cuss word ever to his father. Luckily, the mother wasn't there because she would have whooped that. But luckily, my future self was nice, so he let it slide. He let it slide. And Zach, well, we'll get to Zach later, maybe. See, David and Maya made a child, and Jason was born in 1980. 1 year later, Jordan was born. Now, David went to a bar, and I'm like, what kind of bar lets 10-year-olds in? Unless you're trying to, So I'm like, what kind of bar does that? So, David snuck out at 11 o'clock at night looking for a drink. And this was also his first drink. His very first alcohol drink. And at that bar, he met a guy. I'm just kidding. We'll get to that. He met a girl. This was actually a few months after he was together with Maya. So he met this girl named Carr. That's all he got because he got drunk. And all he remembers was the next day was waking up at home. And my future self sees a little kid walking out the door. It's like, wait, was that Zach? Wait, Zach's not that. Zach's not he's not 4 feet tall. I said, did David have a girl up here in my house? Man. And then, 1 year later, David meets him, 1980. Jordan was born the next year. And also, David doesn't see Jordan until he's much older. He doesn't see the wife again. The girl he slept with again, which all he got was her name was Carr, so that's all. But let's get to 21 years later, 2000. Jason adopts Tyrell. Now, Jason's wife left him because he didn't want to have kids of his own. Well, not of his own, it's because he wasn't ready to have kids now. But the wife wanted kids now. Jason says, no, let's wait until we're a little bit older. Or let's wait until we're married. And the wife says, as Stone Cold would say, we're going to have sex now, or else. And Jason says, or else what? And then she slaps him and then leaves. And Jason never saw the girl again. Jason says, okay, I'm going to do this stuff. No. So he says he couldn't. So Jason calls me and says, what do I do? And my future self says, if you don't want to have a kid of your own, just adopt one. Would that make her feel better? And he says, that's a good idea. Why the hell I didn't think of that? So Jason adopts Tyrell. However, that didn't bring the girl back. That didn't bring her back. So he just kept the kid. And we'll get to the something that's related to Tyrell. 16 years later, 2016, David shows his gayness. Now, David and my future self was in a gym. He was working out, and my future self was on the treadmill. Then David just touches his nipple. He flips his boob up. And my future self was like, son, what are you doing? And David's like, I don't know. And then it's like, I gotta go meet your brother, for dinner. I'm gonna go meet his girlfriend. So, it was very awkward for my future self. It's like, why are you touching me? Whoa, what do you think you're doing? 2020, Justin is born. You know Justin in this timeline. We'll get to that later. Everybody thought this was the changing of the Giovanni family tree. Everybody was happy that Justin was gonna be born. And he was like the miracle baby. You know, Tyrell, had Justin, right? His girl. It's like everybody was happy for this guy. Except for, I would say maybe Tyrell's girl's parents, because they didn't even want her. They had her on an accident. But pretty much everybody was excited. I would say the person who was excited the most was my future wife. She was very excited. She said, "Oh, I have grandkids." Even though Tyrell's not really... Yes, Jason's the grandkid, but the wife and Jason didn't really get along. Even though in this timeline, Jason is a rude bitch. Sometimes. But he's... In the original timeline, this timeline we're talking about right now, he's more nicer than ever. He was nicer more than ever. So, let's skip 1 year later, 2021. Malik starts development on the future beard technology. That's it. 2025. Peepers is born. Now, before Peepers was gonna be born, right? Everybody was like, Justin, this is even worse than David. You're having a kid at 5 years to the old. It's like, you're supposed to be the miracle baby. Make all these good choices. Because David made some bad choices. Not only having a kid at 10 years old, but other stuff. But I will not mention. Because it's too... no. Zach made some... Jason, even though he was nice, he still got him in some bad stuff. Tyrell, he was good, but he used the terror for some stuff. No, I'm just kidding. You don't know. But it's nasty. Real nasty. Yeah. But he was like, Justin, what have you done? 5 years old? It's like, how did you even convince this girl to have sex? That's what I would like to know. Everybody wants to know. And that's why everybody's like, fuck Peepers. It's like, who the hell came up with the name Peepers? So, as you know, everybody was like, fuck Peepers. I don't care about them. Justin's wife was like, can we just kill him, like, in my gut? Like, I'll stab myself. It's like, I'll kill myself too. It's worth it. And Justin's like, no, you're gonna deliver this baby. And then we can leave him at the hospital. He said, leave him at the hospital? That's a good idea. Whoa, let's leave him at the hospital. But that ended up not happening because he ended up dying in the womb. I mean, somehow he did come back as a ghost for the first few years. Like, everybody said, wait, what? People's actually back? And then he was able to, turn his ghost form into physical form, meaning you could finally touch him. Even though he was dead, like, fuck, he's still here. Even though he's a ghost. Let's skip to 2026. My future self marries the future wife. This makes David, Zach, bastards. This makes Jason the grandson. Well, my bad. The son to a bastard. It's like, wait, so it's like, y'all, this is y'all right now. So wait, from 1960, maybe 59, because maybe they started dating in 59, but you get what I'm saying. From 1960 to 2000, fuck it. From 1960 to 2026, they were only together. They just wasn't married. That's like, whoa, that has to be the longest couple in history without getting married. Now my future self, when he told the wife from the present that they got together. I mean, no, actually no, that's something else. My bad. That he said it was 25, but he obviously corrected himself and say no, it was 2026, so it was 1 year later. But let's say that what the wedding, from what I see in the memories, it was freaking awesome. Everybody showed up. Perry, Anthony, Richard, all the 300 people he knew. Everybody showed up for that wedding, bruh. So yeah. But let's continue on, shall we? And that is 2027, 1 year after my future self gets married. And that is, he changes his name to Giovanni. Now you're gonna say, why did he change his name? Hell if I know. I don't see it. But let me tell you why he changed his name. Or how. So, Jason, when he adopted Tyrell, right? He was gonna name him Tyrell. Why? He kept that secret to himself. But he asked everybody, should he do it? And everybody was like, no. But he was thinking about doing it anyway. However, my future self convinced him not to. So he just named him Tyrell. No middle name, no last name. So his name was just Tyrell. But when Giovanni went to court or whatever to go change his name, says, I see do this. When Jason was gonna name his son Tyrell. Giovanni. That sounds great. So my name is gonna be Giovanni, Your Honor. And he says, granted. Now get out of here. And that's how he did it. Now I think his name was pretty much like mine. It was Giovanni, with the M. My life. However, maybe not. It could have just been Giovanni, but who knows? But let's move on into the next year, and that is 2028. He changes his name again to, as you know, Giovanni is my full name. I don't know why did he do it again. Why did he change his name again? Giovanni's my full name now. Now everybody thought he should have just stuck with Giovanni. That sounds better. I mean, granted, they didn't like the name change from the previous year. He said, why are you changing your name all of a sudden? But what else that happened in 2028 is that Spark Bark, Dark Bark, Stark Bark, the Splurred Bird get powers. We'll get to more of them later. But yeah, they get powers from this factory. It's alluded that maybe this was the factory that Malik was using to make the future biotechnology. But it's also, Malik says, I didn't create no factory yet. I did it by hand, all by myself. So it's like, the Spoiled Birds finishing move. They became, superheroes. The Spoiled Birds finishing move with the Spoiled Fist, right? The Spoiled Fist. But and you got, Spark Bark, his full name is Jonathan Sparkety Barkety and David Darkety Barkety. That's their full names. And you forget that dog owner, Clarkety Barkety. But yeah. Let's move on. And let me say, my future self just loves dogs in the original timeline. In this timeline, man, I like animals. Just when I was a kid, I used to pet the little doggies. Even when I see strangers petting dogs. Oh, look at the little doggy. But now, I don't care about animals. I don't have time worrying about some petting some. I don't care. Okay, let's just move on. So, 2 years later, 2030, Malik finishes the biotechnology. Now, once he finished, it went up for sale. Everybody was buying it. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, damn, Malik, this joint is a hit. I'm so proud of you. My future self gave him a hug. His wife was like, if we ever get divorced, I'm not taking your money. I'm not that kind of woman. It's like my future wife was like, I could use that to, there's some a lot of stuff I could do with that. Especially since at this point in the timeline, actually, to be honest, my future self and the wife was having problems with the sexual relationship. But the beard technology helped them with that. Whoa. But 1 year later, 2031, everything becomes the same. Now, I don't want to exaggerate, but not everything became the same. It was 90 to 95%. So pretty much everybody just said, and everybody in the future said, this might as well just say everything's the same. But it's not really. It's 90 to 95%. Everything was pretty much in computer form. In the shape of a perfect four-corner square. So pretty much everything was in a computer shaped. You got computer rectangles. You got computer TVs. You got computer lamps. You got computer churches. Everything. Computer glasses. Yeah, so it's pretty much a bitch. It's like, and then the desert. Oh, damn. Now the desert, the sand wasn't in the shape of a computer, but that'd be weird though, right? 2032, David and Peepers become a couple. Now, as you know, David and Peepers become a couple as Peepers was 7 years old. That video I mentioned, those two videos are going to be in the description box. I could tell you a little bit more about that, but there's nothing really else to be said about that. So, let's move on to 2033, and that is Malik starts working on the time machine. My future self says, why you want to work on the time machine? He doesn't know. He just thought, well, it's never been done. It's impossible. He said, well, I'm going to change the course of history. Not like, he says, I'm going to do something that's never been done. I'm going to create a time machine. He says, I think it's impossible, but go ahead and try it. Let's skip a few more years. 2039. My future selves and the wife have kids. Now, I'm going to name them, but I want to. It's going to be all three of them right here. Boom, boom, boom. Right here in front of my face. See it? Yeah, those are the names. Now, the V, right, is for my future wife's last name. Timmy, was named after Timmy Turner. Benjamin, not after David Shelterman Benjamin, but a different Benjamin, a friend of my future wife's. And, I don't know why for the middle one. I don't know. But if I do, I'll say it right here on my future self named them, okay? Right now. So, we skip 1 year, and that is Anthony and Richard get married. Now, let me say, nobody showed up to the wedding. Nobody. Except for 5 people. 5 people. And that is, of course, Anthony, Richard, the guy who thought Resident Evil 7 had the first safe and we didn't actually feel safe, Perry, and myself, because how else would I have his memories to tell the story? Well, the 6th person could have been my wife, future wife, but she didn't like Anthony or Richard. It's not because they were gay or anything. It's just that they had some weird vibe around them. And my future self says, okay, I get it. Go hang out with your friends, And then everybody else who didn't show, it was either because they were too busy or they didn't want to show up. Maybe because it came out, they did their wedding on the day Resident Evil was released. Was it September? Right here. So, let's skip to 2045. And that is my future self creates a YouTube channel. It's going to be explained in that other video in the description box. 2050. The year my future self time travels back in time. So, In 2050, Malik finishes the time machine. Now he only did 2 time machines. He decided that I shouldn't do like the future beer technology and like go out for sale now because people are gonna try to go fuck up the timeline or fuck up the multiverse or something. So he said he only decided to make 2, one for him and one for me because I'm his best friend. He said, "Here you go, Javon. You can have this one." But Malik says, "Nah, I decided I don't want it anymore." So he gives it to his wife, but she says she don't want it. He gives it to David. No. Zach. No. Tyrell. No. Peepers. No. Justin. No. So it goes in the garage. That's where it goes, in the garage. Well, nobody ends up using it. My future self didn't really use it either until he decided to time travel back in time. My future wife cheats on my future self. Now, somehow, allegedly, as my future wife in the present told me that actually my future self cheated on her. Now, I said, wait, what? How do you know this? And she said, allegedly, I don't believe her, maybe. But somehow her future self contacted her past self. Like I said, allegedly my future self cheated on her. And that's why my future self's wife cheated on my future self. But hey, all I have the memories is that she cheated on him. So maybe he did. But, and then that was 5 months before 6 months before he time traveled back in time. And then 5 months before he traveled back in time, they get divorced. Now, even though after they get divorced, they still remain best friends. I mean, for God's sake, my future self will still call her my wife, even though they're divorced. They're somehow still best friends after that. So wait, what? How y'all still best friends? Have you ever seen that before in real life? You get divorced and you're still best friends. And y'all cheated on each other? Wow. So, 2050, as you know, he time travels back in time to when he was originally born, and he changes when he was originally born. And this creates the second timeline. So, as he changed when he was originally born, he gets in the time machine, right? And he's going to December 22nd, 1996. Why that specific year? Don't know. But he ends up getting stuck in either 1968 or 78. Now, he's told people it was 78, but it's actually possible it was actually 1968, maybe even 1958. So, around those 3 years, on one of those 3 years, he starts changing the timeline. He changes also in 1920 he changes his future wife's birthday as well. Yes, he changes, and he also changes his wife's parents and probably grandparents' birth dates. You know, he's changing all these things, and it's like, damn. So from 1950 or 1960 or 1970 to 2015, this is what he did. Spark Bark and Dark Bark no longer exist in this timeline. Now, in this timeline, David just created Spark Bark on the bus. He said, boy, because he was talking to this girl, he's like, boy, I'm about to Spark Bark. And then I was like, Spark Bark? Boy, I'm about to get your Spark Bark. I'm saying, what? Where the hell did you come up with that? And then, of course, he has to get a job. How else he's going to live in this timeline with no money? I mean, since I was born, he would watch over me. I guess that's how he was able to copy my personality, because he was watching me from afar away. Closer to 2015 or after 2015, he asked Malik to fix his time machine. And as you know, the day after, or just a few hours after I graduated, he kidnapped me. Also in 2016, he showed his gayness again. Now, Giovanni is like saying, David, what are you doing? This is just like in the time. This is just like in the middle timeline. Your future self just touches my nipple. He's like, I think you're destined to be gay. Now, I'm hoping he changes the timeline. Also in 2016, Malik finishes the time machine, but then David dies, and Malik says it won't take you fully back to 2050, but it'll be enough for you to go like in 10 years into the future, and my future self will help you. He says okay, but then my future self hears about David dying, right? And my future self says, should I go back to the future, or should I go back in time and save David? And you know what he did? He went back in time and saved David. And on Kick, David says, you're welcome, David. He said, welcome for what? He said, you died. And David says, no, I didn't. And he says, yeah, because I saved your ass. You don't even remember it. And this creates the third timeline where David doesn't die. And then in 2017, the question you people always wanted to know. Remember when my future killed himself? Dude, I think it's time to say goodbye. Yeah, see? Well, I made to confirm that was a clone. And you said, how? Well, that's because he used this. Now you're asking me, wait, the future beard technology? Yeah. But this is the prototype beard technology. Granted, there's no juice in it anymore. It's kind of, remember, it's like kind of like Watch Dogs. You remember Watch Dogs, right? You know, you got the final, you got that looking great version. It was gonna be very much different from whatever you saw in open world games, but then when it came out, it was pretty much GTA with hacking. And so yeah, he used the clone to kill himself. Why did he fake his death in the first place? Well, maybe because David and Peepers wouldn't do the David and Peepers show, or the Peepers and David show. Yeah, so he said, okay, let's see how people will feel about my death. And it worked to an extent. But still, during that time, as you know, my future self was breaking and he was breaking the time machine, and then Malik will have to fix the time machine. And now it's June 28th, 2017. This is when Giovanni would return back to YouTube. However, David didn't arrive from the future. This is the fourth timeline. The clone kills himself and all that. However, June 28th, 2017, David returns. David's future self returns from the future to come pick his ass up, to take him back to the future. And that's it. Now, there's some questions you guys and girls want to know. Is that, why did he change the timeline in the first place? It's like, wait, how can it be your future self if he was born much, if he was born in 1928? Shouldn't that make you his future self? And how can you change the timeline is so effed up. He changed when he was originally born. He probably changed when y'all was originally born. I mean, and also, the reason as to why I will call David my son and Jason my son is because we had chips in our head. However, their chips were more stable. It's like, we knew we weren't related. Yeah, we're not related. Me, David, Jason, Tyrell, we're not related. However, it was the chip in our heads that was, now mine was more not stable, but theirs was, so like they knew I was definitely not their father. And it's like, Dave was like, Giovanni, you're not my dad. Jason says, you're not my granddad, so get out of here. I said, but you are. However, they come to realize, being forced by the chip, right, that you are my dad, you are my granddad. However, luckily I used the last of the juice to destroy the chips, or you know shrink the chip to where even if you had microscopes you won't see it, because you would need future biotechnology to use it. And also, remember when my future self said you could I could have his Chucky mask? Well, let me say this, it wasn't his Chucky mask, it was mine, because I remember wearing that for Halloween. So unless he bought a different version of the Chucky mask. Yeah, so look at this. This was mine. I remember wearing this for Halloween 3 or 4 times, and I remember it well, because I was getting a little bit big, man. You can see my gut in that Chucky sling things. So yeah, I hope that explains as to why he kidnapped me. If y'all want to know any more of the future, let me know in the description box. Oh, and let me say, I might still mention some of y'all futures every once in a while, but hey, anything can happen. And something I didn't write, write on the timelines, because I don't know where to exactly put it, because my future self said me and Perry will meet eventually, and Billy and Mandy will return as well. So I didn't know where exactly to put that on the timeline. Okay, so give me a break. But let's get into the reason why you guys and beautiful girls are here, and that is to, why did he change the timeline? Why did he kidnap me? As I can see, the memories is very stupid, but here it is. Why did he kidnap me? Well,
we interrupt this program to bring you Courage, the Cowardly Dog Show, starring Courage, the Cowardly Dog. Abandoned as a pup, he was found by Muriel, who lives in the middle of nowhere with her husband, Eustace Bay. But creepy stuff happens in nowhere. It's up to Courage to save his new home. Stupid dog!
Oh, I told you it was stupid though. But yeah, that is to why he changed the timeline. Very stupid. Like, what? No, that's just stupid. But I hope you like the restart season 4 off with the bang. If you could put an end to this, I don't ever have to talk about my future self anymore. So let me get out of here, because I gotta go take a dump. Oh, and I just remembered, that second time machine, my future wife, came back in time with David through the first time machine to go pick it up. And I saw my future self's wife, I said, ooh, boo. I said, oh, damn, it looked good. But, yeah, I gotta go. Cause on my future wife, you know what? I gotta go, Jack. 25 minutes later. Yeah, oh man, that Jack was good, man. But I actually got it everywhere. I got it on my shirt and shorts. But luckily, it's the end of the video, so I'm all good. So, but here is the timeline. Now, something I forgot to mention earlier, right, is that, as y'all know, as I got kidnapped, I had an afro. But when, as you know, David, when you rescued me from that cabin, I had cornrows. That's because my future self did my hair. And he even told me that he used my mom's money to pay for his, even though he knows how to do hair, because his future wife's my future wife is told him how to do it. It's like, wait, so you're gonna let somebody do your hair even though you know how to do your hair? It makes no sense. Try to zoom in or make this clear. I might even just take a picture if that works. When I took in his personality, not only that, I think I also took in his scars, because I think I feel that scar he had, which that video will be in the description box as well. So yeah, that's everything, man. Season 4, here we come. I can't wait to show you my next video, because it's gonna be what I want and Chucky 8. So as my future self would say, you have failed the test.